Hello and welcome. You're watching One India. I'm your host, Riya. Today, we delve into a very pressing issue that affects millions of lives: Delhi's current air pollution crisis. And as we approach the winter months, the quality in our capital city worsens. Um, it is impacting the health, the well being, and the quality of life of the people living here. And to help us navigate this critical topic, we have a very special guest joining us today, Dr. Gufran Beig. He is Chair Professor of NIAS and also the founder of SAFAR, which stands for System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research. He's here to shed light on the current situation, the science behind it, and the potential solutions. Thank you so very much, Dr. Beig. For joining us on One India and talking to us, taking your time out. Thank you so very much for joining in.
Thank you very much, yeah.
So to start with, Dr. Baig, can you provide an overview of the current air quality situation in Delhi NCR and what specific factors are contributing to this pollution crisis that we are witnessing?
Right. At this stage of time, as we see in each winter, as the temperature fall down, winter sets in, monsoon withdraws, the air quality start getting deteriorated. Where majority of the factors are local, but the contribution from the external sources, when I say external sources, means away from the boundary of Delhi, capital region Delhi, out of that. So the contribution keep coming. So accordingly, as it has happened last couple of years, at the end of the October months, air quality starts getting from moderate to poor, poor to very poor, and that is what it is happening even now also. The additional factors which contributes to this one is episodic, which is the Deepavali firecrackers, which is a matter of only 1 or 2 days. But the major contribution for 40 days keep coming by the Parali fires. But the peak for that is first 2 weeks of November, which we still need to see. So at this stage of time, as on today, the air quality is in upper end of very poor, few notches below the topmost category, which is called severe.
Mhm. Right, sir. Uh, Now, if we talk about Suffer, the which you're the founder of, it has been an instrumental in providing the real-time air quality data. So, how has the data collected by Suffer changed the understanding of air pollution? A and B, what trends are you currently observing through this in the air of Delhi NCR?
Right. See, the SAFAR are having about 10 air quality monitoring station online, state-of-the-art instruments. In addition to that, there's about 35 stations combined together with the DPCC as well as CPCB. So in all, around 40 stations we are having. Then the data, which is supposed to be a representative of Delhi, should be the station should not be in a one particular environment, but it need to be in a different environment, which could be what I mean by micro environment is it should be in a downtown area, it should be in a residential area, it may be in a background area, upwind direction, downwind direction. So Delhi is very well placed with this kind of an instrument, and then the average of that is a representative of Delhi. And that is what it is. That is the reason that you must be hearing that in some places like Anand Vihar or those places, the air quality is already gone to severe category for many days. But in some categories, you will see that poor categories are also there. So on an average, if you see, it is a mid stage scale of very poor.
Right, right. If we talk about the health impacts, from the air pollution, and there are short terms also health conditions, there are long term health conditions in effect that people of Delhi NCR is facing due to the poor air quality. Can you tell some of them?
See, to tell you to your viewers, there are 6 categories of air quality index. It starts from good, then good, satisfactory, moderate, poor, very poor, and severe. Severe is the sixth one, which is let us say sixth category, and then good is one category. We are in the fifth number at this stage of time. So one notch below that. As the air quality index goes from different categories from 1 to 2 to 3, 3 to 4, there are different kind of a health symptoms. There are different kind of a advisories and precautions for three categories of the people. Number one, those who are already having some kind of a pre-existing respiratory system problem. One is a healthy person, and another one is infants or elderly people. So
Right.
those are the broadly we try to do that. At this stage of time, which is very poor, number five, here it is advised that mainly, the air quality and specifically the prominent pollutant is PM 2.5,
Right.
which directly impact your respiratory system, lower respiratory system as well as upper respiratory system. The upper respiratory system is the maximum which get affected with that thing. That is the reason that asthma or shortening of breath, fatigue, all those are there. So in this particular thing, it is advised that as much as possible, try to avoid the outdoor activities, specifically where you exert too much, and specifically in the morning hours when temperature are cooler, and the evening hours when the sun drops, and then the inversion layer start coming down. And that is the reason that these are, so those are the symptom, fatigue, uh, respiratory system diseases and all. Those are the things which keep on increasing, and that is what we have been. You must be hearing that in the hospital admissions, outdoor admissions or outdoor visits have increased.
Right, right. One very important question that I want to ask you, so, is that there are a lot of policies, already there. But according to you, what are the most effective policies that government can adopt to combat this crisis, and how can they ensure the enforcement of these policies in Delhi NCR?
Okay, it's very very pertinent and very important question. I will take some time. The very first thing, which is that our NK program, which is a very good program which is started. But then NK program is a highly location centric and emission centric. Now, in this world where we are working in a changing climate, in a warming world, what we call, there we need to take all kind of aspects in mind in making a planning policies. The airshed approach is something which I have been advocating in a quite few years, where the mitigation measures which are being taken now only for Delhi National Capital Territories, that need to be taken in a airshed regions. What is the airshed? Airshed is, in a very simplistic language, is an area which enjoys the similar kind of a weather or climate. So the air quality remains, for example, Delhi, the air shade consists of four more states. So it is not 50 by 50 kilometer area, but it should something like 200 kilometer by 200 kilometer area. Now, all those measures which are being taken in the city, if this is extended to all those places, then you will have a significant change. That is one. Second thing, we should understand that the lead pollutant and the most toxic pollutant in winter becomes PM 2.5. Thus, so our priorities for mitigation should be focused on the most dominant source for the emission source for the pollution, PM 2.5, the number two, number three, number four, like that. Now, the most dominant source for PM 2.5 is the transport sector, not the dust.
Okay.
Dust is the most dominant source for PM10, which is not as lethal as PM 2.5.
Right.
Now we have been taking a lot of measures in Delhi, water sprinkling, then construction activities, and then so many things. But I think that is little misplaced. It will give you some dividend. But then the major thing is traffic management. In fact, NGT has also come very heavily, maybe 2 days, yesterday or day before yesterday, I was reading it that. So the point what I'm trying to make here is that congestion, avoiding the unpaved area where the vehicle slips during the congestion when there is a heavy traffic time. And most important thing is that those vehicles, whether it is a private vehicles or some other vehicle, but running on diesel, need to be avoided. Delhi still have a diesel vehicle for the private cars and private vehicles, which is, I think, not a right strategy. Then the most important thing which I am going to tell you is that the peripherally, not only in Delhi, but outside Delhi, peripheral regions, heavy duty commercial vehicle and light duty commercial. They are, although in terms of a percentage contribution of number of vehicles, they may be 5 to 10% of the total number of vehicles, but they use more than 50% of the emissions for pollution because of the three factors. Number one, they are diesel driven. Number two, almost as observed, they are overloaded. So when the things are overloaded in its more capacity, it gives a huge amount of emission. And number three, they are relatively less maintained. And during this time, when the Delhi is a landlord city, during that time, all the emissions which is getting from there, they all get into dump into the city and it doesn't get dispersed.
Right.
So that is something which is a more relevant to the priority.
Rightly said, sir. One very interesting thing that I want to ask you is that, there are numerous myths and misconceptions surrounding when we talk about air pollution. The biggest example is that, burning crackers or fireworks will not contribute to as much as the vehicles or the construction contribute. So, can you clarify some of the common misunderstanding that common people have about the air quality and its sources?
Yes, that's very important. See, the point is that when we talk about PM 2.5 or PM10, we are not talking about its chemical composition. We are talking about only the size. The particle which is having a size less than 2.5 micron or less or PM 2.5. So it is made up of what? Whether it is made up of mineral elements, nitrates, sulfates, carbonates, what? Ammonia, all those. The toxicity of these particles depends on what it is made up of. So even if the concentration of those are less, but if they are made up of carbon particles, suppose black carbons are there, elementary carbon, then they are really very dangerous.
Right.
Then if they are made up of sulfates, that will be more. The problem with the particles of PM 2.5, which are coming out from a normal emissions from a dust or other, as compared to what it comes out from the crackers, is this that the particles which are coming from the crackers are really highly toxic. Carbon and sulfates are there, nitrates are also there. This is true that these the Diwali firecrackers problem is only for one day or at the most 2 days. It is episodic. It's not a certainly permanent problem. But when there is a fire already, you are putting oil on the fire, and that is the only thing which happens. Otherwise, I always say that it is increasing your peak, but you are already in the peak. The only thing is increase the magnitude of the peak. But the most important thing is that the particle which you are inhaling, they are huge, highly toxic, is mainly the firecrackers which are there, Chinese firecrackers and all, if they are not green firecrackers. So that is the difference. But coming back to the point is that both the things are true, that this is something which is increasing you or the peak, but at the same time, this is only a matter of 1 or 2 days. But we need to, if we would like to get rid of this problem, we need to look for a long-term solutions.
Right, sir. Now, talking about the long-term solution, sir, this is going to be my last question as we have a little time crunch as well. What advancement or changes do you believe that could significantly improve the situation of Delhi NCR that we are in currently right now?
We need to shift our perception from location-specific emission-centric policy to the airshed-centric policy. we need to improve our air quality index, where not only the size, but the health component, which is related with the chemical composition of PM 2.5 particle, air health index, that need to get into, that will provide you much more better information. Number three, the implementation remains one of the major issues which anyway you have been hearing. We have all the rules in place. There are some policy related issues. For example, this, as I'm telling, from emission centric and location centric, Delhi centric to the airshed, we have to expand our horizon for this. But the question remains that how much we are successful in implementing these measures which are in place. Unless implement is done in full sincerity and religiously, and the priority is set to the highest emitters, the first, the problem, the significant change you won't see. Hence, it is a high time that we need to bring these changes to have a significant impact. This year, probably the fire counts have declined significantly.
Right.
But the point is that weather conditions are so bad that even if 300, 400 fire counts are sufficient to deteriorate air quality, and contribution is coming to be 10 to 15%.
One last question, sir, and this is going to be a tough one as well. How much time do you think it will take Delhi NCR to actually come back to an air quality where people can, breathe happily, and after every effort or everything is done? How much time on reality it's gonna take if the government, if the authorities come in together and work and do something, do a magic? How much time do you think it will take?
Yeah, thank you. In fact, this is the question which has been asked to me. Sometimes some people give me the years also, whether this must take time and all those. My answer to them is that if the sincere efforts continues and then implementation strategy is certainly in place, down the line in at least 5 years, it will take, it cannot be a magic rod that it will, but down the line in 5 to 10 years, we should be able to see the really in play, because our country has to develop, economical growth has to happen.
Right.
So we cannot stop, stop manufacturing the vehicles, or we can close the industry. That has to go on. But then, good measures, green practices, and sincerity, and most important is outreach.
Yes.
And teaching to the people that what is good and what is bad, unless self-mitigation starts. So it is a combination of different governments from different states, along with the citizen. If they come, I think we can see very significant change in 5 years down the line.
Right, sir. That means we have a long way to go, and there's a lot to be done in order to come out of this situation together, because all of us are in it together. Thank you so very much, Doctor, for joining with us and talking to us on One India, on a matter, on a topic which is right now the hottest topic to in Delhi NCR, if we talk about. And thank you for your insights and all the things that you shared. It was great having you on our show with us on One India.
Thank you, Riya. It's always a pleasure talking to you, India. And I wish all of the viewers very happy Deepavali, safe Deepavali, green Deepavali, and pollution-free Deepavali. Whereas let us not say pollution-free, but breathable and much better air quality.
Right, sir.
I wish that if result that day it rains, probably we will have a very important decline in air.
Right.
Thank you, Riya.
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you.
Don't miss out. Log on to oneindia.com for more updates.